Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this channel review for the year of 2025. We're now into 2026. It's a brand new year and it's time to reflect. It's time to reflect and look back on what the previous year brought to this channel, how I'm feeling, what I want to do going forward, all that good stuff, right? 2025 was an interesting year and we can go through that. I can show off some of the videos that I've put out here so that you guys can see this, but you can see that it was an interesting year for me on this channel personally, because there was a point where the channel dropped in views quite massively throughout multiple parts of the year. A lot of the views you're going to see that I've got, or a lot of the videos you're going to see that I'm going to show off here that have high views, are things that grew over time, which has made me realize that that's kind of where, with this channel being the size that it is, it's kind of where I am, and how things are going to grow naturally is by doing things, giving them time, going forward. There are things that I can always do to improve. I know this, you guys probably know this, and there are things that I've been kind of looking around at other videos and going, okay, so how do I improve? Little tweaks here, little tweaks there to get the ball rolling. I'm very lucky that at the end of 2025 in December that I was getting a few more subscribers, I was getting more views, I was getting more comments again. It felt like a natural growth had started again on the channel, and I'm really grateful for that. Before we even go any further into this video, I just want to say, anytime, I'm incredibly grateful for any person that watches my video, anybody that puts a comment on there, anyone who likes a video, subscribes to the channel, any of these things that help the channel grow. I completely understand that you are taking time out of your day to watch my content, which may or may not be the best content, that you see that day or whatever, but ultimately, I really appreciate it when people do take the time to watch it, because I'm making the channel because I want to make it. It's my creative outlook to put content out on this channel. However, if there is somebody out there that finds a game they didn't know about and plays it, here's a piece of music that I've recommended and listens to it, enjoys it, I've done my job, right? I'm not a playthrough channel, even though I do playthroughs. There are certain things that I'm just not great at. However, when it comes to talking about video game music, when it comes to talking about why I like a game or why I don't like a game, the pros, the cons, trying to break down things, that's something that I'm really trying to be good at and be better at, so that when you come to a video and you watch me play a video game and I'm talking about it, I'm trying to give you the best impressions I can of that game with the pros and the cons. And these are things that I continually try to work on and do going forward. There are little things that I want to do in 2026 to just improve the channel. I'm not making any bold claims this year. I keep doing that and it never comes through. All I want to do is just improve the quality, keep putting out good videos that people want to watch, have discussions, and just let people naturally come to the channel and enjoy it. One day I will hit the kind of heights that I want to hit, and I'm totally cool with that being the end goal. Right now I have smaller goals, and I'm just going to keep enjoying what I'm doing, and I'm going to keep appreciating you guys coming here to watch it, and a massive thank you from me for it. But let's go through my history this year of my channel, so we can talk about some certain things, and I can kind of give an example of what I dealt with as a creative person with the channel here. So if we switch scenes here, you'll see now that you have the videos on screen. Now I've gone back, so Mark of the Ninja was the game I played last year. This was at the end of December from 2024, and then we kind of started around this sort of here, so you see best games I played 2024, YouTube plans for 2025, channel review, all that sort of stuff. Similar sort of stuff that's going to happen this year that you're going to see pop up. But we started off the year with top 10 Mega Drive tracks, and I did videos on Generation Zero and Void Crew, and you can see at the start of the year I wasn't getting a lot of viewership at all on much stuff. And again, this is fine for a channel this size. It is what it is. I did think that maybe the Switch 2 reveal that I did, and maybe Donkey Kong Country Returns HD might get more traction, but it wasn't really January didn't really bring me a lot of love. You can see Worms Armageddon here, Anniversary Edition Deathmatch was probably the highest viewed video up until that point. A lot of stuff here wasn't great. And Awesome Wars is back. When that update came out and I did a video on that now has 861 views, which is that's mind-blowing for me. And when a video gets over 50 views, I consider that a success, right? This video is one of those ones that got a lot of traction as time went on. It did not start off like this. It might have started off with 10-20 views, But as the years gone on, it exploded and grew. So that was like the first big video I had this year. But you can see most of this stuff is around 10 to 15 views. Like, I wasn't getting a lot, and I had to naturally get back into just being like, nope, this is okay. Just keep making the content, keep doing what you're doing. Eventually, stuff will start to come together. And I did stuff on Civ 7. I did stuff on Tempest Rising. I did stuff on Wolfenstein. Like, those were games that I was playing. And then I did a factions tip for Tempest Rising for the GDF when that came out. That did all right. So those sort of things hit certain milestones. But for the most part, like, you can see that the channel was just ticking along and not doing amazingly well. And then we'd get to like this point. So this was what, March-ish, maybe, sometime around then, and we see that Worms Armageddon is anniversary edition worth the money. That over time got a decent amount of views. Chucho doing a match with him in Awesome Noughts, because people weren't making a lot of Awesome Noughts content, so when I was putting stuff out, it did alright. The second match of Chucho, not so much. And you can see like Dishonored 2 is a great sequel. That was a video I did. It was only 12 minutes long. Nobody watched it. There were certain videos that I was putting out, that was kind of the average of like 10 people would watch it, and that was it. They might only watch like 5 minutes of it. So, and then we got to all the Switch 2 reaction stuff. The Soul Calibur stuff was the one that got the biggest reaction. Everything else kind of just flopped, which is fine. I put a lot of eggs in one basket this year to do Switch stuff. Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition, that was a video that I thought might do fairly well. No. And then we have a big like lull in like viewership. We got the Nitro Deck for Switch review, which I did that. That was those sort of videos I enjoy doing. I have more of those coming up in the foreseeable future. Far Cry 5, that was a banger of a game. And then again, you get the occasional video like the Tempest Rising music video, which I was very lucky that I had one of the composers, because I was talking about one of the particular tracks. He actually commented on my video, which was very kind of him. Seems like an awesome bloke, makes some great music, and so that sort of got a little bit of a oomph. And then nice to see that the top 10 N64 tracks did, in my opinion, all right. But yeah, nothing crazy. And then we get to like the actual Switch 2 being out, and you can see here like I did Mario Kart. No one was interested, because ultimately everyone and their mother was doing Mario Kart, so that was kind of pointless. None of these games really did well until we got to Civ. Now Civ was an interesting one. So I did a video on Civ 7 talking about the mouse mode and all that, and that actually did, over time, it's gotten to 545 video. That's a success. That's a success story on this channel. And it's kind of crazy that video, I did come back and do another Civ video as well, but that was the one. It was like, boom, I guess nobody was doing it, or it was just enough vibes or whatever was going around for me to like push to do that, and it did really well. I think sometimes getting that video length can be a big impact on it, so being about 15 minutes or 16 minutes in this case was the right length for it. And then you can see ARMS did really well. I started doing like certain videos on Switch 2. ARMS did really well, in my opinion, because I didn't think that was a video anyone was going to watch. Then you got the how does later game Civ 7 run on Nintendo Switch plus mouse controls tested on a leg. Like, it was just sort of a bit silly, but that even did even better. So that's one of my success stories this year. So really and truthfully, what I should be doing on this channel is Civilization, clearly, which I might do some more Civ stuff on Switch now that it's updated and the game's in a better state. And then that was kind of like it for a while, I believe. I don't think anything. Oh no, I'd tell a lie. I did Borderlands 3 on Switch 2. Now that was a game that did not run very well on Switch 1 anyway. It ran like okay, but it had issues. This version of it, pretty much the same. It was just a case of the hardware was making it stay at a higher frame rate. It wasn't perfect. The game was basically the same, but it did run somewhat better. And that's, for some reason, Borderlands another thing that does well on this channel. I should probably do more of it. So that was weird, because then after that, we had Brothership. They got a decent viewership. We had Need for Speed Hot Pursuit Remastered get like a decent viewership, and then I think it dropped. Oh no, and then bear in mind, again, most of these videos picked up over time. The Mario & Rabbids Sparks of Hope one picked up, Sonic Colors picked up. Now what's interesting about this is, while I was doing all this, I did this video, I believe it's this video, it's Channel Update August 2025. Now in this video I specifically was talking about how the channel had like essentially died. And at the time, it kind of had died. Like most of these videos that have the high viewership, Sonic Colors, For some reason, after I put that video up, the channel update, I don't know if somebody else boosted it, something happened, and that video exploded, right? So that's just me talking about it, and then like Switch playing on Switch 2. And all these videos around it, so like the battle themes in Expedition, Mario & Rabbids, a lot of the other videos that were near this, like the controller and stuff about Borderlands 4, suddenly blew up. And I don't know why. And it made me sort of go, okay, well, you know, just keep making videos on what you want to do. We'll see what happens. And as you can see, a lot of stuff still came out and it was still getting, you know, average viewership, which is fine. Now you have a tier list they always seem to do alright, and so Command & Conquer. But it wasn't really until, you can still see like Pac-Man, Plants vs. Zombies, stuff like that. Awesome Naughts always seems to do well on this channel, like I said. And then we get to this part of the last like last 2 months of stuff. Raven's Watch, Jetpack Joyride's theme, the Splinter Cell playthrough, Deep Rock Galactic, and everything. Everything's just higher now, for the most part. Everything's just a higher amount of viewership. Not always, but you're seeing everything's in the 40s and the 50s and things like that. And I'm really grateful for that, because at this point, like, you know, it's a case of that people are starting to enjoy what's on the channel. I've changed. One thing I've changed is 2 uploads, a slower upload thing, and just letting the videos themselves, putting them out there, letting them do their thing. You know, not everything's going to be a success. Not everything that I play or do or record is going to be what people want to see, and I get that. But it's been an interesting year. I don't want to take away from the fact that, like, yes, it's been a slower growth year, but I am still incredibly grateful for everybody that viewed, subscribed, commented, all that sort of stuff. I am very grateful for that, because it's like, you got to understand that, like, as a YouTuber, you should always be humbled by the fact that people want to watch your content. They want to see what you're going to do, and I am, you know, ultimately that's the thing about it. And now it comes down to it. 2025 was a strange year for me, for YouTube, but ultimately going forward, I'm incredibly grateful, incredibly happy. I can't wait to see what the future brings, what 2026 brings. There's always stuff that I want to make content wise. There's always stuff that's going to be coming out there. There's always going to be a variety of content. I want to revisit some games. I want to do other things, but I always make these promises of bringing back series and stuff, and it just never happens. And so quite frankly, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. If the opportunity arises to do more co-op stuff, if the opportunity arises to do more retro reminisce stuff, I will do those things. But right now, there are things that I can do, controller reviews, you know, finish off getting up, or any more playthroughs that I want to do for later in the year. Focus my energies on games, try and really nail that style down for what people enjoy, talking about a game, pros and cons of a game, and like that sort of stuff. And I think that's really where my strengths lie, and then everything in between that I end up doing, you know. So it's been 2025 was definitely a year for the channel, but I'm incredibly happy with how it's finished off. I look forward to what 2026 brings, and just ultimately, like, again, thank you so much for the entire year for watching my videos and content. So with that, if you like the video, hit like. If you want to see more content, then hit the subscribe button. Hopefully 2026 can bring the content that you want to see. And until next video, I will see you then.